Hello everybody, morning. To answer your question that you posed, Callum, that you contrasted the views of those who you characterised as seeing the next stages as flagging the same old nags round the racetrack, I've been called worse, as opposed to those who see that this is the most radical shake-up of the NHS in its history. And I'm in the latter camp. I really do think this is turning everything right on its head, designing a very new system all the way from its roots all the way through to its national infrastructure and headquarters and the political interface. And I think that the challenge that we face going forward in this economic environment demands of us that we make those radical changes in order to be able to maintain and improve quality of service for those that we serve, and at the same time continue to drive better value for the taxpayer's pound. So we're heading to a world in which patients are at the absolute centre, empowered, well-informed patients, in which general practitioners, through their practices, with their multidisciplinary teams locally, working in consortia and across with partners in other sectors, take charge of the commissioning, take charge of most of the money, where success is measured in terms of higher quality outcomes for patients, where we deliver that with a more efficient and more productive system of provision, and where there's a very different terms of engagement between the health and social care sectors. I've been in the department about 3.5 years now. I'm an NHS manager, so serving a bit of time there, and the last 6 or 8 months or so has been a fantastic learning experience to be part of. The civil servants, people brought up in the civil service, talk about the challenge of a change of government and all that entails in the run-up to the election and all that entails in the period after the election. And I listened to all of this in the run-up to May and thought, it can't be quite as challenging as that. But believe me, it absolutely is. And of course, we've got a Secretary of State who was Shadow Health Secretary for somewhere in the order of 6 to 6.5 years. I think our Minister in the House of Lords, Earl Howe, has been involved in the NHS for 10, 12, 13 years, so he knows his way around. Simon Burns, the Minister of State for Health, has been the Minister in the department previously. So we've a Secretary of State who's been waiting for this opportunity. He's done a lot of planning, he's done a lot of thinking and preparation about what he wanted to do. He's got the ministerial support team behind him who are equally energised and determined to move forward. And in that situation, in health, more than I think in other parts of government post the election, we were able to move very quickly, and a white paper came out within 52 days of the general election. And it's a white paper. Some of the mist clears away as we get into the construction of the bill and all of that work that's going on now, and that will come into Parliament and therefore into the public arena in a few weeks' time. As the mist clears around the detail, we can absolutely see the scale of the challenge that the white paper spells out. It took 52 days to prepare, but it's more than a Parliament's worth of work in taking all that forward. And we have to take it forward in a much tougher economic environment. The spending review a week before last was relatively very good for health. Clearly, it's what the coalition government had committed to in taking up power, and they're true to their word. It's evidenced in the SR settlement that health is protected in real terms. And relative to just about all other parts of the public sector, that's a very good place for us to be. We look at, I'll come on and talk about social care in a minute or two, but you look at the settlement for local government. If you take away police, fire and schools, who have elements of protection of their budget, the remaining local government budget reduces in real terms by 26% over this spending review period. It's a very, very significant change in the funding environment for other parts of public service. So for us in health, protected in real terms, real term increases each year over the course of the next 4 years above the estimated GDP deflator. And what comes with that for us, of course, as others look at us with some either jealousy, envy, or whatever they feel about how well health's done compared to their services, it puts the spotlight right on us to be absolutely transparent and accountable for the way in which we spend every pound that we've got. Because there's a long queue of people up and down Whitehall waiting to point out that we didn't need to be given this money, that we've wasted it now that we've got it. So our drive to improve quality, to improve productivity through innovation, and to really drive in our investment in prevention. The Public Health White Paper will be coming along soon. It's really important through that we demonstrate significantly better value for the taxpayer. And our estimates of the extent of the challenge for QUIP, which work we did last year when at that stage in the sort of 9 to 12 months before the election, the parties went through a phase of competing for who was going to give the NHS the most money. Then, as the mood changed, it was a competition for who was going to cut the deepest and drive the efficiency, and it swung back and to during that period. And we said to ourselves, we can't be distracted. The settlement will be what the settlement will be. What we need to do is to get our own act together with respect to driving up quality and driving through productivity, to release our own resources to be able to meet the increasing demands on the service, driven by demographics, driven by technologies, and so on. So we set out the challenge as being we needed to generate for ourselves, through being more productive, more efficient, through driving better outcomes, which goes hand in hand with productivity, this 15 to 20 billion over the course of the next spending review period. And we've post-SR 2 weeks ago, looking again at all of that, looking at the trend lines for demand on the service and how that's consistently moved in recent years and how that looks as though it will continue to move going forward. Looking at the funding that we've now got, I think over the course of these next 4 years that the spending review period covers, we're going to have to generate up to that 20 billion of our own resources in order to, on top of the money that we've been given, in order to continue to meet the rising demands and expectations on the service. And that you can break that down and be very forensic about the numbers and say that adds up to a few percent, 3 or 4% each year, and we've always done that in the past, and so on and so forth. It should be possible. But my view, if we've done that, it's sort of efficiency in the past, certainly in the past 10 years, with increases in cash significantly greater than we've got going forward. Whilst we're relatively good compared to other parts of government, which it's very, very tough. The overall cash increase for the service is significantly lower for the next 4 years than it's been for the previous 10 or so. And for many colleagues in the room, we've never been in senior positions with the responsibilities that we now carry for leading the service through this next change, working with cash increases year on year limited at this level. So driving through those sorts of efficiencies that I've just described at the same time as managing with lower cash increase is a challenge that we haven't faced on this scale before. So we've got, on the one hand, we've got the white paper and all that that entails. The other hand, we've got the tighter economic environment to do it in.